What's good? It's your boy Diesel. It's Monday. This is another Move Monday. Let's get straight into it. The people who are supposed to be in your life and who want to be in your life will make sure that they are in your life. You feel me? This is one thing that I've learned. If there's ever a reason that I have to decide to cut somebody out of my life, is because they were either a hindrance or a negative factor in my life, right? And so the people who actually care about you and care about your best, you feel me, are going to want to maintain a balance in a relationship with you where you feel as if they're giving you something that is good for you. In other words, if you're going to stay in my life, it has to be for a positive reason. Like, I don't need to keep people in my life or around me who are always making me second guess myself or who are always bringing up my shortcomings or just feeding negativity and negative energy into my life, right? Like, if every time that we get around each other, I have to either shrink myself or hold back something that I wanted to say because I don't want to negatively impact or affect you, I'm belittling myself to make you feel comfortable, right? Or if I always have to explain, like, I don't like this, or when you did that, I thought it was disrespectful, or if I just feel disrespected, for me, it's really just as simple as that at this point in time in my life. It doesn't matter who it is, cousin, uncle, friend, coworker. If three or more times I've been in your presence and you've done or said something that made me feel disrespected, you're no longer a part of my life. We will no longer have regular conversations, and I will no longer feel the need to include you, whether that is actually or verbally, in any of the things going on in my life or in my mind. Just because I don't like putting myself in a position to not like the way I feel. And if you have negatively impacted my emotions multiple times, I'm going to assume you don't give a fuck. You don't give a fuck about me. And if I have drawn some type of line, made some type of boundary, or made some type of statement and vocalized it, and never once was it my bad, I'm sorry, I'll make sure it doesn't happen again. How can we make sure this doesn't happen again? I just cut it off right then and there. I don't have the time for it. And that's why I'm saying people who actually care about you and your well being, if they notice that the relationship starts to alter or change a little bit, they'll address the difference in it and ask why. And if you voice it's because you didn't like something or felt uncomfortable about something or disrespected by something that they did, if they're actually going to give a fuck about you and maintaining their relationship, they'll be willing to try to at least understand where you're coming from and why you feel that way. Even if they don't agree, I do not have to agree with your interpretation of my behavior. I don't, because what I did and why I did it might be completely different than what your interpretation of it was. I do have to be responsible for the way my behavior made you feel if I care about you. If I don't, then I don't. And that's fine. But I don't know. I just feel like a lot of people bust their brains and hurt their own feelings by maintaining spaces and maintaining space for things, situations, and people that have negatively impacted them because they feel it's what they're supposed to do. No, bro. What you're supposed to do is be a good person, be kind, be nice, and live your life happily. So for me personally, anything, place, person, situation that negatively impacts me, I'm leaving it right there. I don't give a fuck. Like I said, mom, uncle, cousin, grandma, I don't care, but I don't care. I'm trying to be like this 24/7. And I'm not trying to bust my brain to try and figure out why other people are, you feel me? I'm going to directly address it. The same way I'm going to directly address what I don't like. And if we can't come to a common ground to make us both feel comfortable, that's fine. You feel me? That's fine. Dismiss, separated. You be over there, I'll be over here, and we'll both live our lives happily go ever. You feel me? But that's just my interpretation of it. Just because I spent a whole lot of time in my life like apologizing to people for stuff or trying to understand how we got to certain conclusions or how people were misreading things or like why I was being like considered the bad guy. Or you feel me? I spent a lot of time doing mental gymnastics trying to make relationships work. And at the end of the day, the other person didn't change or do anything. You feel me? They never tried to meet me halfway. They never tried to listen to my side of things. It was just me listening to what they didn't like or what the disconnect was for them and trying to mitigate it by changing my own behavior and my own actions, which is still, I believe, something you should do if you care about the relationship. But I believe both parties in the relationship need to do it. If not, it's a one-sided relationship and it's very unhealthy. And I refuse to be part of things that are unhealthy. That's the word for the day. Lone Wolf out. More Monday, baby. Dizzle.